When it comes to reality shows, it probably doesn't get any more real than Mob Wives. In fact, some of the most raw and real moments of the show came last season when Renee Graziano found out that her ex-husband betrayed her family and turned her father into the feds. Now, Renee's reaction and the subsequent breakdown, all captured on camera, captured our attention. The VH1 hit is back now with season 3, and you can expect even bigger fallout fights and, you know, that occasional F-bomb.
Your father killed me when he did that.
All right, well, get over it. It's done with. You gotta move on.
Junior wrote you? I have this really bad fear. He's gonna kill me.
This letter has scared the out of me. I don't know where the is.
I fear for my life.
I think Dave has something up his sleeve. Karina found a thong.
At your house?
In her bedroom.
Your house in Hotel Motel 6. What kind of grown woman leaves a house and doesn't take her underwear?
Now I want to fly on a plane and go to Arizona.
Anything that comes out of this girl's mouth is a lie. But you know why? Because she's a junkie.
You want to go to war with me? Do you know what war with me is?
I don't want to know what war with her is. We're not at war here. We're all about peace and love, and we have two of the Mob Wives with us here, Renee Graziano and Karen Gravano. Thank you so much for being with us. Happy New Year to you, ladies.
Happy New Year to you. Thank you for having us.
Okay, so listen, Renee, I've got to ask you about this because I want to recap a little bit and kind of give a little taste of what we're going to see in season 3. Between you and Carla, things got a little tense. What happened?
It's public. I'm a recovering addict, and Carla decided to attack me and call me a junkie, which is very disturbing to me because at the time I was sitting next to Big Ange, whose son is in rehab as well, and I had said, well, if I'm a junkie, he's a junkie, and she's like, he's not a junkie, just you are. First of all, I had a problem with pills. I do not like the word junkie. I'm a recovering addict. I own it.
And your struggle totally documented in this season. What was it like? I mean, you've got cameras rolling as you're going through. You're trying to find your own personal strength.
I'm trying to find myself the whole entire time. So for me, my addiction became very, very... I just... At one point, I couldn't deal with life because it was so hurtful. The surgery, the ex-husband, I had a miscarriage. Like, this all happened to me, and losing my dad, and my dad has cancer. So it's, and he's 73.
Right.
It was too much, and for me, that's where the addiction got serious. But the word junkie is, I take that real personally. I think that Carla is out of line, and I think that there's nothing, I'll be honest, there's nothing she could do. She could never, ever take that back. God should ring my doorbell and ask me, and I'd have to say no this time.
It's like she tried to hurt her when she was down, and that's the thing. If two people are standing up and they want to fight and argue, that's fine. But when a person's been through everything that Renee has been through, you know, to just kick her while she's down, it's just real. It's a low life move.
Well, and you've been dealing with your own situations. Obviously, your boyfriend and your daughter live in Arizona.
Yes.
And there's some tensions, as we've seen in some of the trailers coming up in season 3.
Yes.
What happened that you can share with us without revealing too much?
Storyline. You know, I've been bi-coastal. I go back and forth. I chose to keep Karina in Arizona because I felt like her foundation's there. When I came back for the show, I didn't know what was going to happen. And, you know, her dad had just got out of prison, and I thought it was a good time for them to rebuild their relationship. Then when my book came out, you know, I got a lot of negative backlash, and I just felt for my daughter, Arizona was the best place. And me and her dad were working on our relationship, and, you know, distance, you know, what I'll say at this point is just hard, you know. And I think all the years that he was in prison really took a big toll, you know, and there's a lot of hurt feelings, there's a lot of, you know, mixed emotions and, you know, things that are going on, and a lot of it plays out in season 3. I can't give too much of it away, but
it's real. Season 3 is different than 1 and 2. Season 3 is extremely real because it goes into
more of our personal,
like into treatment. They came to treatment. My son told me how he felt.
Right.
You know, to hear your child say that.
He has some very raw words for you about parenting, about how he feels about his father.
Yes, that I disappointed him.
Yeah.
And that right there, Carla then used that. She twittered, what'd she tweet? Oh, even her son is disappointed.
In her.
I don't play that game.
Right.
First of all, you can't hurt me. After everything I've been through, there's nothing you can do to me. So
But it was
there's nothing.
humiliation
Right.
for her son.
It's for my
almost
son. Like,
you know.
she's hurting my child. He doesn't need anymore. He had to deal with his father snitching on his grandfather,
Right.
and his uncle.
And protective mama bear comes out with
but that's,
a
that's
right.
enough. Like, why you keep? I know it's wrong. I'll handle my business, but don't go for my child.
One of the things that also in season 3 is that we looked at Hurricane Sandy coming through the Northeast here, and I'll be honest, I think what's fascinating, I think, for a lot of viewers is that they see the situations either that you have grown up in or that you are still in now, and a lot of people can't relate to that. But when a natural disaster strikes, that's very relatable to anyone in the country. How were you both affected by it?
I actually was in treatment when it happened, so I started Operation Mob Wives Saving Lives together with the girls, and I raised money. And I did Twitter, and I raised...
Being a New Yorker, we were all affected by it.
Right.
I mean, just to see this happen, it was unbelievable. I was in Midtown Manhattan because I was in an A zone, so I evacuated, came here, and I was watching it on the news like, is this really happening? Because the wind really wasn't even blowing hard where I was. And to see people standing on their roofs and just, you know, watching it and seeing Staten Island and, you know, even Queens and Brooklyn, like all these areas just being ripped apart is extremely devastating.
Did that... I'm sorry, go ahead.
And I just want to like express the way everybody after it had come together, the unity, like going back to Staten Island and seeing my, you know, home, not my personal home, but Staten Island is my home, ripped apart, and like people were walking in the streets with these blank faces, giving their jackets off their back, and you know, I just feel like anytime, especially New York, goes through a situation, we've seen it in 9/11,
right.
As with Sandy, I think, you know, we can say we're proud to be New Yorkers because we come together and show support for each other.
What is the biggest misconception about mob wives?
Oh, I think the biggest misconception is, I think we get blamed a lot for what the men have done. I think that they don't realize we're very loyal women, and I believe that you're supposed to stand by your man or stand by your family, and they judge us upon what the men have done.
Right.
Our fathers are in jail. They're paying the price. We're mothers. We're real women. So I think the misconception is they think this is such a glamorous life. This is so far from glamorous.
And I want to touch on that because I think Hollywood really glamorizes the life and it really doesn't show what the families go through. And at the end of the day, our loyalty is to family because, again, like I said, my father, Sam the Bull, he's known to the world as this monster, a gangster. But to me, he was a father. And, you know, everything in me, he gave me the, you know, the seeds to be a loyal person, strong woman, you know, work ethic. So I don't think people see that. You know, you're just looking at a show called Mob Wives and they think we're a bunch of animals. We fight, we curse.
Well, we do. We do fight.
Right.
We do curse.
But we love hard and play hard.
Who doesn't?
Right.
I'm sorry. I love hard. And I go hard. And Karen, I have been through it, and Karen is the most loyal to me and my son. So I think people just need to, this season, they're going to see an inside that they're going to be shocked.
Whether it be the past 2 seasons or really just if you kind of reflect back on your life, I'm going to get deep here for a moment, but I wanted to ask you, have you ever had any regrets where you've sat down with yourself and said, I wish I hadn't said that or I wish I hadn't done that? Maybe you might not want to acknowledge that.
For me, I actually have to say, thank God I was stoned half the time. I mean, God forgive me because of what I went through. I think that if I was in the normal state of mind, I probably would have had a nervous breakdown. I have no regrets. I don't even have a regret taking my ex-husband back. I'm so thankful that he did what he did because I'm rid of the devil.
I feel like regrets, when you live with regrets, you can't enjoy the future. It's like you're always living in the past. And for me, everything that happened is a learning experience. Do I watch some of the things I say on TV and I'm like, ooh, I can't believe I just said that.
Maybe a filter every now and then, right?
You know, that's the one point where I'm like, oh no, they gave me a script.
I don't
which
have
they
a problem
didn't,
with
but
it. I love to say what I say. I say
sometimes
it from the heart.
I see it and I'm like, oh, I can't. But it's passion. And like she said, in that moment, that's how I felt. I was angry. You know, sometimes I express myself a little bit too much, but that's what it was. And you know, I learn, and hopefully I don't get that mad again and say those horrible things that I've said.
I'm going to say what I want.
Hey, which is why the audiences love you both. Yeah. Renee, Graziano, Karen Gravano. Ladies, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for
and a very
having
happy
us.
New Year.
Thank you for having us.
Likewise, thank you.